In the spring of 2018, Marilyn, Hickey, and a group of over 70 travelers visited China and Mongolia. The expectations for this trip, Marilyn's 34th trip to China, were high, as the travelers anticipated times of praise and worship, prayer walking, and ministering to local people. On their first exciting stop, the travelers toured around the Summer Palace, famed as the Imperial Garden Museum of China, built for royal families to rest and entertain. The Summer Palace later became the main residence of royal members. Later, travelers enjoyed a traditional dinner of Peking duck. Marilyn also shared encouragement and spiritual expectations with the group. The next day, the group toured a jade factory and enjoyed learning about the history and significance of jade. They then went to the Great Wall. The travelers loved walking on the ancient structure. In the evening, the group was treated to an amazing acrobatic show. On Sunday, everyone was excited to experience their first church service. Marilyn preached at 2 anointed services, encouraging the congregation's faith and expectations for a miracle encounter. Many stood for salvations, closer walks with God, and healings. That afternoon, the travelers toured the Temple of Heaven and did prayer walking, praying for the souls around them in that beautiful religious complex. The next day, the travelers enjoyed rickshaw rides through the narrow streets of Old Beijing and got a glimpse into the lives of the locals. After that, they toured a silk factory and relished in the beauty of clothing and products there. They then traveled to Tianjin, China's 5th largest seaport, for 2 nights. The next morning, everyone enjoyed worship and a teaching from Marilyn. Then they toured 5 avenues. They also spent time in the Ancient Culture Street, a food market street. Traveling back to Beijing, the travelers next toured Tiananmen Square and the Forbidden Palace. Grapes and crackers were distributed to the travelers, and they went in small groups around the square, prayer walking and taking communion. A short walk away, the group visited the Forbidden City, which served as the home of emperors and their households, as well as the ceremonial and political center of Chinese government for almost 500 years. The next day, everyone flew to the charming, eclectic city of Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. The travelers met for praise and worship, and Marilyn taught on Elisha's miracles. Then Marilyn met with pastors and leaders from all around Mongolia, where she taught on how to heal the sick. Meanwhile, the travelers enjoyed camel rides and holding an eagle on their arms. They ate a traditional Mongolian meal and toured the Genghis Khan statue complex. In the evening, the group joined Marilyn at the pastors' conference, where they prayed and laid hands on the sick. Many received healing and committed their lives to God. Everyone agreed with Marilyn when she said that Mongolia was a hot spot, ready and ripe for revival. The next day started with a blessed time of praise and worship, prayer, and more teaching from Marilyn. While she went to minister at the Pastors and Leaders Conference, the group toured the city, visited the Bogd Khan's Palace Museum, and enjoyed a Mongolian barbecue lunch. On the second Sunday of the trip, the group heard Marilyn preach at a local church. Again, many received healing, were slain in the Spirit, and committed or rededicated their lives to God. That night, everyone enjoyed an amazing farewell dinner with singers, musicians, a contortionist, and dancing. Marilyn spoke into the lives of the travelers with scripture and blessings. All the travelers were truly blessed, and the people of China and Mongolia were impacted eternally by this trip. God moved mightily with signs and wonders, and all involved will never forget the sweet time of ministry. This trip was possible thanks to the generous friends and partners of Marilyn Hickey Ministries.